And welcome back. We're where we left off last time in Xeno Empire at the bottom of round 277, where we have 8 decisions awaiting us. One of which apparently is what to do with the Marauders. Most of our governors at this point are sufficiently skilled that this is just basically 4 political power attacks for a guaranteed no problem.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Given to some of the demands and demands. Yes, you have my full support to make that not a problem. Critical success, no danger increase, good to see. Like merit. Transport contract meeting. So the goal here is to unload at our existing port. So we basically want to increase the transport capacity of the existing port from the capital. The previous one was like a 500 logistics. We're gonna basically triple it by going up to the 1,001 here.
Roger that.
And we are still apparently having a slight power issue. Might just turn the high-tech industry down again. Yeah, let's turn the high-tech industry down again. Let's bring it down like 50%, see if that solves some of the power issues. The high-tech industry is one of the more power-hungry things that's not necessarily the most rewarding for it. That's in comparison to the deep core, which is one of the ways we're getting our fuel. Could probably turn you down, or turn up or try to build more power plants or whatever. And the demilitarization is pretty important to run because it's where most of our metal that's not hampered by our logistics is coming from. Okay, Moat Camp may finish next turn. Solar panels are running at speed. The demilitarization plant should finish. Lime Top Rail Station is going to take like 2, if not 3 turns. And this should help with the last mile deliveries on that rail line here. Inside that, are going to build up the truck hub here. Actually, building the truck hub up here would not be the worst of plans. I assume the truck hub's on that hex. Yeah. In this case, it'll probably pull from the local metal supply, which says 1.7k there. Bit of a shame that it's not going up anymore. I think this is left over from when we had a scavenging thing on the ruins here. Scavengers run out. Scavengers run out. Can't ship you any colonists because the transport here is full. Most likely of, well, some food going out, but most likely metal coming in. Saturated the transport line. Okay. So we're going to limit science cooperation with the guy we're planning on attacking.
Roger that.
Don't really want him to have access to our technology anymore. There we go, we've got that down. The next one I'm going to start moving on is, we want to have open borders, we want to have cultural exchange. Might start to reduce the military pact. So we can start trying to do some covert ops on him, like Call to Success, which we can't do with a military pact. And then we're up to 38.5, so our victory score is still going up. The main thing probably holding us back is the planet. Because at this point we are approaching half the people on the planet.
Standing by.
Yes, sir.
Orders.
Yes, sir.
Standing by. Roger that. Roger that.
Oh, we got a zoo project to play. Let's get that out. I think everything on the main island is upgraded. Lime
Understood.
Top's not a bad place for it. Okay, I don't really see anything I want to do strat card wise. So we do now, in theory, have a working truck station here. Surprised. Truck station isn't projecting further along the road. So you're on that hex. We got a road, so it should be going there, yeah. Sign to the hex. Sign to the hex. So it's just not that anything's going down our roads for some reason. Sometimes I'm confused with how the asset pull points work. Let's try strategically moving the third over there. Right, so we should be able to send them down the road. Why? So I don't necessarily know if that truck up's not working right for whatever reason. And okay, we haven't got the transport expansion yet, so we can't move those guys over. We got some more colonists. We don't have capacity to send them over here. Oh, I do have capacity to send them over here.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
Nationalize that port. Next turn, we'll send over another wave, and then they'll start building the government buildings. And we'll basically send them over until we've got enough people over there to operate the metal mine. Anyway, so I think we're going to place to cycle the turn. I haven't scrapped them yet to reclaim the old metal. They still, in theory, could serve a purpose. We've got a lot more petrol availability at this point, so we could be running them for logistical needs if we need to. Round 278, we have 7 decisions. Correct the statue. Yeah, we'll allow that.
Roger that. Roger that.
Affirmative.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Minor worker
Roger
strike.
that, sir.
Major worker strike.
Roger that.
Corporation abusing its power again. Okay, let's try to bring a... Let's attempt to do antitrust on the corporation.
Affirmative.
Yeah, if we keep rolling it, eventually this guy will build up a decent amount of resist influence. And then we can assign him around.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
We get the resist influence to attempt the antitrust ops. Okay, so we got that brigade in position. Okay, now that we have some over here that uses logistics, it's showing the logistics map, so that's what we wanted to see. And we're good there. Okay. Run them north, run them south. We probably want to run north first. Let's go ahead, mass upgrade. This, I think, technically is the whole SHQ that we're upgrading, or what's left of it, to the new guards. Let's go ahead and officially obsolete the old guards model. No one's running with this one anymore. Okay, we've saturated the boat movement for the moment. Over to that island. Sort of pre-positioned to deal with those squids. I suppose if I want to get that metal quicker, let's actually try to use our planes. Okay, we just moved to 3, so they're not going to be air bridging. Let's keep it fairly small for the moment. Let's try 1 air bridge with a 9. Actually, I got a literally full stockpile of petrols. Well, we'll air bridge with everyone. It's capable. That should help with a little bit more transfer off of this island, where all the outflow inflows are saturated. Let's unilaterally lower military cooperation, if we find it. Trade. Act. That's the one we gotta cancel. Oh, I don't have the political power because it costs 41. Oops. Oh, and apparently our construction's looking pretty good. Yeah, we finished a bunch of stuff, so Moat Camp's got all its stuff done. So we can shove colonists there, and we can. We should shove some there. Gunline is working. Still apparently complaining a little bit about potentially downgrading, which it hasn't, but that's good. Oh, one of the big metal sinks was probably the demilitarization plant that's now done. We'll see how the metal continues over the next couple turns. Top's gonna finish its rail station next turn. That should help with the motion on that island. Same with the truck station. We should build up government sector here where we nationalized the port.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir. Yes, sir. Roger that, sir. Yes, sir. Roger that, sir. Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
And then give them a bunch of workers
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
to work those construction projects. Yep. How's our tech coming along? Eco working on mining revitalization. Military is working on jetpacks. Applied science is almost where we want to be on solar energy efficiency. And Air Force is working in VTOL. Okay. A bit hard to tell if we got plenty of power and not enough. It'll be easier once we get some power banks, which maybe is what I should work next on as far as tech is concerned. Instead of going for industrial ruralization, I should go for power banks. Just we can build up a power stockpile so we can know if our power is enough or not. Because I always feel like it's more than enough, but apparently it's not with the current stuff. At least not enough to run the high-tech industry. Oh, wait, we're seeing a lot of troops moving, but they're not anything we need to really worry about. Back around to us, Steel Land. 279, 3 decisions await us. One of which is what to do about the adoptions.
Order received. Yes, sir.
Understood.
Okay. So I'm going to cancel Pact Clause on these guys.
Roger that.
Here's our goal. Actually, I'm not exactly sure which level was stopping us on the military pact for the goal success. I have to have no military pact with them, so we have to get down to none. Back to moving, bring over the brigade. Okay, so that's the 4th. Obviously need more to come across, so 5th should be next. And there we go, that's the boat saturated for the moment. Well, can you not air bridge there? Interesting. Well, your readiness is really low, so we'll just wait until your readiness comes up again. Probably the air bridge isn't possible for you, but it is for these guys. $38.8. We do see that Brunderstein is slowly declining, so we are moving closer and closer to the point where we might be able to win. Interesting that we've got the road here saturated. Oh, I see what's probably going on. It's we've got a bunch of people being moved. Lots of outflow. Losing so much water. Water stockpiling is not our strong suit, apparently. And it's not really that important in the water world. And we're losing food due to loss to maximum storage. Okay. Construction, finish the one line top, so that should help with the logistics in that area next turn. Guess loss over here is building. Good to see. A little bit delayed, but I think it's only going to delay it to 3 turns instead of 2 turns.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
Okay. Don't need money right now. Good to see that the metal's coming in faster. Are we so petrol hungry that we're depleting? How much petrol do you eat? A lot, apparently. Rather than we're getting delivery off to our sites really screwed up for some reason. Yeah, well, whatever just happened, it broke our truck points here. Wait, let's tell these air wings right now to stop air bridging. Because apparently putting those on air bridges broke supply from that zone, which is not what we want. Like, why did you only pay for 4% of the production? There was no good reason for you to do that. Okay, well. We're gonna probably have to cycle a couple turns to get that fixed, and we'll see if it is fixed. I suspect what's happening is there might be a mild glitch with how air bridging affects the pathfinding for the transport routes. So they're back to normal, and everything's green. Well, because we screwed up the truck station for a turn, so everything that had to go via truck, and probably screwed up the rail network for a turn, so everything that had to go by rail is foobarred for a turn. Yeah. I don't really want to talk our but we do want the fist.
Copy that. Yes, sir. Yes. Understood.
Copy that.
Roger that.
Okay, so we got a couple zones that are not particularly happy with me for events of this turn. Ten's not bad. 50's pretty bad. Let's see what we can do to bring that unrest.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Ah yes, the good old option of sending in the corporations. Deal with problems. Oh, this is the other one. It's Grumpy.
Copy that. Copy that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mainly just to see what this does.
Roger that.
So what does the militia propagandist do? Let's go look at our tank. Oh, I forgot the tank. It's still up here. We didn't even go down to the front. This fellow is a common thug, but he knows how to preach the hate against the enemy troops he is embedded with, spurred by his attitude to fight on. 75% chance to ignore or retreat combat result. Okay. Did you build any food and oil storage? Food, no. Oil, yes. Well, actually, we built a little bit of food. We got level 3 food, level 3 fuel in the capital. But only in the capital at the moment. Part of what's going on right now is logistics, stupid things. I think there's a bug associated with air bridging straight from the SHQ that screwed up oil being delivered to the truck station in the SHQ and basically screwed up the last mile logistics. You can see I'm got a black line between these two hubs, and that is the truck station here not working right, or not working right for one turn. But yeah, so really we've been running because this is the Gaia world. Food's abundant, water's abundant. Petrol being abundant is a bit of a new thing, but yeah, I haven't necessarily been having problems with food and water. We got a little bit of food storage, we got a little bit of petrol storage. Probably next time I get an ecotech choice, we'll probably try to pick up power banks so we can try to actually have some power storage. To try to troubleshoot how we're going to get our grid to work when the high-tech industry is actually running. Yeah, to be fair, I don't think I really necessarily had a shortage, but I think it was just a bug associated with trying to air bridge or something. Because I went from, well, even after doing it, I had a full storage, so it was weird that I had full petrol, like 27k petrol storage, and no petrol went to the truck station. Victory-wise, we're at 38.8. Because of the logistics issues, a bunch of our construction didn't proceed correctly. Yeah, it looks like everything should proceed correctly coming this next turn. We got a little bit of political virus, so let's go ahead and try to get more people coming in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Standing by. Roger that. Roger that.
Yeah, let's cycle the turn. See now I got bug I think fixed. See our grid properly work. Okay, squids. Enter into encirclement. Attempt to attack our guys. Get hammered. We've got 5 decisions in the bottom round. 2-8-1. If we weren't having, and of course we're going to saturate all the transport lines with all the stuff we didn't ship for turn, so that's the thing.
Yes, sir. We're going in. Mission successful.
Oh darn, one got away.
Yes, sir.
You want the victory points to reach 40.1. Don't think that's going to happen, but that is something we're trying to have happen, so we'll agree to that one.
Understood. Understood.
Demagogue, try to deal with the demagogue. Success, keep the unrest from growing too badly. Okay, we got no well, actually, we might have some surplus on that one, not saying 22%. So we might be able to get the 5th across. No, we are able to get the 5th across. How much of the 5th? Well, we don't have very much industry down there to eat the logistics, right? So, we're able to get 2 units across. Let's start. We can throw some colonists over here. One of them's workers or civilians? Civilians. Well, actually, we're going to want that mine, so we'll build the mine, start the mine building.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
And we'll dump them as workers, and then if they demote to civilians,
Yes,
that's
sir.
fine.
Roger that, sir.
Anyway, at this point, because I've had so many bugs with these planes, I am going to go ahead and scrap the planes, just so we don't bug ourselves out again with the planes.
Roger that.
Here we go. All of them gone. Got a bunch of materials back for it. I think specifically it's a bug with doing it on the SHQ, probably. Otherwise, someone would probably have complained about it already. It might have been why one of the, the zone pickup by air bridge is toggled off by default. Yeah. So now that we had the logistics return, a bunch of our construction worked, so Ken's Losses buildings are completed. Placed the process there with building a metal mine. Next turn we'll probably build a metal mine down here. Because we do need metal. Metal is what we're mainly on the lookout for. Mooncron's truck station will finish next turn. One of the solar panels will finish next turn, followed by the other one. At this point, we actually don't have anything that's very metal-heavy going. What that probably means is it's time to go back to trying to upgrade something. Now that we have our logistics working and we're getting maximum storage from other zones, we've got 25,000 storage instead of 17,000 storage, so we have another 8,000 storage to start stockpiling up again. And this is showing us we've got a surplus of oil of about 2,000, especially without the Air Force anymore. We don't need as much petrol kicking around. So I can probably afford to go to the next level of power plant. And we've probably got enough metal. No, we'll just run the power plant upgrade. Trying to decide if I wanted to run serpentization as well. But no, we'll do the power plant upgrade. In the hopes that that solves a little bit more of the power problem. And then how much does a demilitarization plant cost in metal? Yeah, we can probably run that in parallel with the power plant upgrade. So we'll start to expand a demilitarization plant someplace else, with the goal of trying to maintain ever-increasing metal supplies to support our industry. Yeah, I'm not sure about the airbridge oil thing either. It's just whenever I tried to do the air bridging with the 9 plane-sized airbridge units from the airbridge airbase in the capital to an airbase someplace else, every time I did that, just for no reason, the truck station, the airbase, lots of other things just weren't getting fuel anymore. Right. So I suspect it's like, yeah, it's not good to go track it down. And I'm not even sure that this is my first time using airbridging, so it might be an airbridge problem, it might be where I'm doing the airbridge from, or it might be a zone SHU thing. But yeah, so we're going to stop airbridging, at least airbridging out of the capital. We don't really have a good reason to airbridge from elsewhere. Now, that doesn't mean we aren't going to run planes. I might swap over to actually running, like, combat planes. We'll see how the logistics go on getting stuff out to places. And looking at the time, this is probably where I should go ahead and end the part, and this is the 5th part in the stream, so this is probably where the stream is going to go ahead and end. We've gained, like, 3-4% victory. It's being a little bit slower. I was hoping to get a little bit more planet score from taking over the 2 Xeno miners. But apparently their territory wasn't quite as large as I thought it was. On the other hand, one of the things we've been struggling with is metal, and both Xeno territories ended up having a metal deposit in them, so that's going to be a good source of additional metal to help accelerate our expansion. And the nomads have metal up here as well, so taking over the miners was a good source of, in theory, future metal. It's just going to be getting that metal in the queue for working. And yeah, I think we're getting pretty close otherwise to getting a lot of logistics sorted out. We'll have to obviously try to get more logistics down to the new zone down here, so we can support military troops along this entire border. We're going to need more brigades. I'm going to need to figure out how to get... Well, actually, before I forget, we will need a road out to here. And probably a rail line. Yeah, it was one of the Twitch shadows saying, yeah, that's proper colonialism, conquering backwards people for resources. To be fair, in this case, at least 2/3 of them we negotiated their peaceful integration into society. We can question the fact that this game does not, count them as human. That's a different problem. But at least we didn't have to kill them. I mean, that ate a bunch of metal, but I think in the long run that will be a good thing to do. That'll help us deploy troops for the attack on Neoliths here. Neoliths doesn't have a lot of people. At least not as much as Neustrone here and Brunderstein. Oh, and before I forget, we should Play the Council Pact Clause.
Roger that.
So we no longer have a military pact with them. So we can, if we're willing to risk it, in the future, start trying to do coal to success. To leech population out of them. We'll have to be a little bit careful of that, because otherwise they'll notice on failures, basically. Yeah, success, they lose happiness. Critical success, they lose happiness. Failure makes them lose opinion of us, because they'll notice if we fail to do it stealthily, basically. Then we might be able to do Plea of Friendships on them to keep the opinion high while we're doing that.
Roger that. Roger that.
We'll see. Yeah, but we don't want it to. We don't want to end up in a state of war before we're ready. Though apparently, looking at their borders, they're not very ready. They've got some big, scary motorized units. And yeah, that's a pretty scary tank unit. We would not have a fun day fighting that right now. Though our guys are reasonably scary themselves. They got a big unit here. Of recon buggy. Yeah, recon buggies. Yeah, so they got a few scary units. We got a lot more of a line. So maybe if a war broke out, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But there's definitely some undefended places, and I'd be a little bit worried about them doing naval landings that I'm not prepared for. Do we have anti-tank units? Developed? Yes. Deployed? No. We've got the models designed. We probably should actually do another pass on the RPGs. So we got hollow gun bazookas. I think we bought better RPG techs, because that's just using the RPGs. I think we've since researched... I think it was actually somewhat recently we researched guided RPGs, so we can swap them over to guided RPGs. I think those guys were still in... No, they're in heavy combat armor. Well, I think we have battle dress. We could start swapping troops over to get out in battle dress, which would be a different expense. Yeah, we have battle dress. And when we're done with mining realization, heavy battle dress will be in something that can pop up, so that's good to see. But yeah, so we don't have any heavy tank or anti-tank deployed yet, but we could, and in fact that's probably something that will be something we swap the brigades over to if our staff council can ever finish with their order of battles. So we're currently working on the RPG infantry army. We've got a couple different ones complete, I think. Not any of the ones I ideally prefer, but we got a couple of them made. So we got Siege, which is infantry artillery. We've got MG, heavy MG, and light MG. And we've got armor, so we can in theory build an armor unit. Standard metal, need more to make what? I think the battle dress, so that's one of the reasons a lot of our troops are still in combat, or heavy combat armor, is the heavy combat armor is only metal. Battle dress, I think, requires some machine parts. Machines. I think it's like 1 machines per unit. So it can be quite pricey to hook up a bunch of guys in battle dress. Now we're making we're actually, because we have some heavy industry, we are making a decent supply of, well, decent early game supply of machines. We can basically build whatever we want, construction-wise, with the machines that we're making. But if I really wanted to splurge on battle-dressed troops, we'd want to probably upgrade the heavy industry. Yes, artillery can be very, very good. It does require a lot of ammo, which if we were on the main island, right? If we were attacking these guys over here, the Braziers commune, I'd definitely be full on board with going, like, heavy combat armored artillery guys, because we could run the supplies over by rail. But if you're seeing all our red and black over here, that's the sea transport. And that's trying to do mostly the civilian economy. I dread to imagine what's going to happen when we start shooting. And that's with just normal infantry guys. Right, these guys will be eating something like 65 bolts a round. The artillery would be like 5-10 times more. Don't necessarily know how far away we are. 2, 4, 5. 10, 15. Yeah, so the guys down here are out of airstrike range of the capital. So our bigger planes can probably get all the way out to about here. So if something starts going wrong, we could probably do strategic bombing runs on attacking people. But in fact, actually, these guys over here might be in range. Might be able to bomb these guys, and this group over here. But yeah, our planes are good. Our planes are not quite that good. I think the bombing range on planes is like 25 X's out from the airfield. And if we have to forward base them off of one of the forward airfields, we're going to run the logistics issues, just similar to the artillery. Kind of what I'm hoping right now is if we can get enough guys deployed on the front line when we start the war, that the element of surprise will allow us to overwhelm the unprepared defenders. Because most of the guys are going to be... I think the majors are actually at war with each other. So they're not really deploying troops to my front because they have other problems. Right, so while we're at peace, they have other problems. So it's mostly just the dregs on my border at the moment. Those dregs can be somewhat scary, right? Like this one MG guys, each one of them is worth like 2 of mine. And MGers, of course, spend on the defense, but it's a slightly different problem. But yeah, the professional army units, when they do show up, are a bit scary. Okay, before I keep rumbling on, because I haven't gone ahead and end the part for YouTube, as soon as we can leave off looking at the victory points. We've been advancing. We're up to 38.8% of victory. We may, depending upon the luck of the dice, at some point be able to get Brazier's commune to sign a victory pact with us. So really, we're looking that our score plus 10 is more than 25 over Brunderstein. We're about 7 over them, so we need to get like about 18% more victory score, or at least an 18% swing of victory score against Brunderstein. So as a process of that, we're trying to build up enough that we can rapidly run across the border and take a bunch of their stuff. This is not their whole country, down here and over here. This is rather just the bits of their country that are very accessible to us. They have this whole continent up here. So I don't necessarily want it to be a long war. I want it to be sharp, violent, get in, take some of the more vulnerable stuff, and try to negotiate back to peace. Before they're... Well, I'd say they're bigger industry, but I think our industry is the bigger industry. Maybe unsurprisingly, but they got more planets, so they're not... And I think they're probably slightly richer than me. I would not be surprised if they can do much more naval maneuvering than I can with their smaller population. At least with their attention span. AI usually has better attention span than I do. One last double check. Let's make sure. Did we do? We haven't done this late turn.
Yes, sir.
So I don't forget it next time. We'll do it this time.
Standing by. Roger that. Roger that.
Okay, and with that, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. If you're watching on YouTube, there probably will be a part up tomorrow, but I'm not going to be able to get, well, not going to be able to guarantee that there will be, but we'll probably get around to recording it. So with that, wish you all the best of luck, a good time, and bye for now.